This is Nate Milton here at Denbigh High School. Joining me at this time is the head coach of Denbigh's boys basketball team, Dennis Katufis. Coach Katufis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Coach, when I look at the Denbigh Patriots this year, they're a 5-5 team. They're kind of the wild card in the Peninsula District. Some nights they'll come out and play like champions, and other nights they'll come out and just play average. What are your feelings on the team this year?
Well, that's true. We've had, and I think that a lot has to do with our young kids. We're playing. Of our top 7, we've got 4 of the kids are sophomores or freshmen. So, you're going to have a good night, you're going to have a bad night, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll develop into a real good team.
And one of your players this year that has really come out and been a leader is Tony Perez. He's averaging 12 points, your senior center. Who are some of the other leaders for this team?
Yeah, of course Tony is a leader, and we expect a lot from him. Jerry Cooper is a returning player, and he gives us a pretty good punch. And the other player that is really helping us out this year is Carlos Hurd, his sophomore, and he's averaging in double figures too. So those 3 are a big punch, and they've done a pretty good job.
Now tonight, Coach, you have no easy task going up against the defending Peninsula District champion Menchville Monarchs. What do you think the keys will be for Denbigh to secure a victory tonight?
If we're going to win tonight, we're going to have to handle their pressure. And that's full court and half court, and they give you a lot of different looks. We have to, as a team, make sure that we don't dribble the ball too much, so they really trap off your dribble. So we need to make sure the ball is moving by passes rather than dribbling the ball.
And joining me at this time is the head coach of the boys varsity basketball team, Greg Henderson. Coach Henderson, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Now, the Menchville Monarchs are the defending Peninsula District champions, and they have a 7-3 record this year. What is your opinion of the season to date for your team?
Well, I'm very pleased with our progress thus far in this season. I think that we've played very hard. We've been in every single game that we've played in, and if it wasn't for a couple of bad bounces, we possibly could have been 10-0. But I'm very pleased with the young men's progress this far the season, and I hope that we can continue to progress through the rest of the season.
Now, when people think about the Menchville Monarchs, obviously they think about David Macklin and Michael Ricks, but who are some of the other guys who have stepped up and become leaders this year?
Well, those are 2 of our main players here, but additional players are Mark Aldred. Mark Aldred does a lot of good things for us. Ray Holdcraft. Ray Holdcraft is our workhorse. All he does is just get his hard head and goes to work. He's a big rebounder for us. And Justin Catlett, he's also a workhorse for us. He's been a pleasant surprise for us this year. And Connell Drone. Connell Drone also gives us a lot of quickness in our backcourt. And I have Keith Wilson and Mac Brookman, who are doing a tremendous job as far as running our offense for us this year.
Now, Coach, last year you were a bit of a surprise to win the division. Have you noticed any difference in the way teams play you this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, all teams are really coming after us really hard, and to our guys' credit, they're really accepting the challenge. They're getting out there, they're playing hard also. And the district this year is wide open, so it's anybody's race.
And tonight you play a Denbigh team that's 5-5, but they always come out and play tough. What do you think the keys are to beating Denbigh tonight?
Oh, anytime you go against your rivalry, you have to throw out the records. Like I said, Denbigh is 5-5, we're 7-3. That doesn't mean anything to these young men. What they'll do, I'll put my best 14 young men out there on the floor, and Coach Katufis will put his best 14 young men out there on the floor, and they'll just go to battle. And at the end of the game, we'll look up, see who has the most points at the end of the game. Like I said, when you play against your rivalry, you just throw the records out. All these young men are coming to do tomorrow night or tonight is just play the game very hard.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Coach Henderson.
Thank you.
For Channel 6 Sports, I'm Nate Milton.
And welcome back live to Menchville High School for exciting Peninsula District basketball right here live on Channel 6. Hi again, everybody. I'm Greg Picaveras. It's right now the home Menchville Monarchs are taking on the Denbigh Patriots, their crosstown rivalries. Menchville is on the year 7-3. They're coached by Greg Henderson in his 5th year. They're defending Peninsula District champions, while Denbigh is coached by Dennis Katufis, who replaced Phil Forbes, the former women's basketball coach. They are 5-5. Greg Picaveras along with Nate Milton live on Channel 6. Nate, when you talk about the Menchville team, 7-3, you talk about the leader, David Macklin.
Right, Greg. Of course, when you think Menchville, you always think of David Macklin, but you can't forget Michael Ricks. He's also a big part of this team's success.
And we talk about Denbigh. Coach Katufis has beaten teams with Alonzo Mourning, who's now playing for the Miami Heat, and J.R. Reed, who used to play for Kempsville and Indian River, respectively. Mourning played with Indian River, and Reed played for Kempsville. Dennis Katufis can coach, and they're like the Central, in the NFC Central, the black and blue division. Denbigh really hustles. When you talk about Denbigh, you talk about Cooper and Perez.
Right, Greg. Cooper and Perez, they have that excellent inside-out game. Cooper dishing it into the big man Perez, and they score a lot of points off of that.
Jerry Cooper and Tony Perez, the dominant players for the Denbigh basketball team this year. A very tight race. Really, no team has really dominated the Peninsula District like in years past when you talk about some of these schools. This year, for example, Lafayette beat Hampton. Yes, they did it without Ronald Curry. And you also saw Ferguson beat Kecoughtan. And these two teams can play with anybody in the district.
Well, that's true, Greg. Records mean absolutely nothing this year. On any given night, a team can knock off a team with a higher record.
And we're live right here at Menchville High School, and we're glad you're with us right here on Channel 6 of high school basketball coming up. You saw the women's team dominate Denbigh 59-37. Also, both these girls' teams played very well together and looked very spirited out there. But Menchville's Monarchs, the women's team, 11-0, and you got to look at them as another perennial power going into the regionals. These two teams are trying to position themselves for the regionals, and the district tournament is coming up at Hampton University. Both these teams are doing very well this year. We mentioned the leaders of the district. Phoebus is 8-2, and also Bethel is 7-2, but right behind him is Menchville at 7-3. And one thing Menchville has, they have guys, they have a lot of depth and balance as well.
Right. Well, they have a lot of depth and balance, but what Menchville likes to do more than anything else is run. They've got those speedsters. You talk about Macklin, you talk about Ricks, you talk about guys like Keith Mitchell. They can flat out run.
Peninsula District basketball live right here on Channel 6, just moments away from tip-off. Menchville at home will be wearing the gold, white, and purple uniforms, and Denbigh in the red, white, and blue. Exciting Peninsula District basketball. We brought you the live football game version back in November, where Menchville won 21-9. And the guy that scored 2 of the 3 touchdowns, will be seeing him out in the basketball floor tonight. A 4-year starter. Talk about generation gap, David Macklin.
That's true, Greg. And I think Macklin's hoping his winning streak on Channel 6 continues here tonight.
All right. The David Macklin will be playing for Penn State and Joe Paterno come fall of 1996. A very excellent student athlete. But Menchville, over the years with Coach Pop Pitts, has had great players like David Pope and David Hagan. And the tradition continues in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Menchville really playing very well in basketball. And Coach Katufis is just a dominant coach himself. He really gets a lot out of the players, a lot like Coach Tarrant used to do at the University of Richmond. We have the national anthem coming up live right here on Channel 6. Greg Bicaveras along with Nate Milton as we're ready to set the tone for the national anthem live right here on Channel 6. Stay tuned for all of the game festivities coming up.
Oh, say, can For the land of free and the home of
And welcome back live to Menchville High School, the Monarch Country. We're here at Menchville High School, where tonight the Menchville Monarchs host the Denbigh Patriots. Menchville coached by Greg Henderson in his 5th year. Greg started coaching this team back in 1991, was an assistant to Coach Ben Moore at Warwick High School. Their last game, they lost to Hampton 55-53.
Right.
And when you talk about Menchville, David Macklin averaging 10 points a game, and Mike Ricks 14 points a game as we see the starting lineups right now. First for the Denbigh Patriots, be number 12, Tony Perez, coming in the ball game. See Kevin Kelly right there, 5'11" senior guard, as well as Antonio Robinson. And the entire Denbigh Patriots team in the blue, red, and white, coached by Dennis Katufis.
They look ready to play, Greg.
And the Menchville Monarchs coming up right now, coached by Greg Henderson. As we're live right here on Channel 6. Menchville and Denbigh. Menchville, we mentioned on the year, is 7-3, and the Patriots of Denbigh are 5-5. This Denbigh team can play with just about anybody as you're looking at the starting lineups right here. Weather's been kind of inclement, but we have a nice crowd on here.
Yes, Greg. You see the starting lineup for the Monarchs. You got Ray Holcraft, Justin Catlett, Carnell Drawn, Mike Ricks, and David Macklin.
8-minute quarters in the Peninsula District action, Virginia High School League. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton right here. Women's team won the first game. Menchville did 59-37. Other key games going on tonight. Warwick at Gloucester, Phoebus at Lafayette, Kecoughtan at Tab, Hampton at Bethel, Pocosin at York, Franklin at Ansman River, and Southampton at Bruton. Last night, Warwick defeated Ferguson 60-41. The referees in tonight's ball game, there will be 3 as opposed to 2 in the women's. Warren Patrick, Bill Wessel, and Don Ellis will be the referees.
Well, one early game note here, Greg. The Monarchs' usual starter at forward, Mark Ardrey, he's gonna play tonight, but he's gonna play injured because he hurt his left foot yesterday in practice, so he won't start, but he'll see some time in this game.
Coach Henderson's record is 46-54 in his 5th year. Replaced Phil Forbes. Coach Katufis has been coaching this team for Denbigh since the 84-85 campaign. Last year they were 10-12, 9-9 overall in the district. For Menchville, they were 16-7 and 15-3, but they lost that first round game to Tab in the Peninsula District Tournament. Kind of left them a bitter taste in their mouth.
That's right, Greg, and that's what motivates them for this season.
Jumping the ball will be Carlos Hurd for Denbigh, and for Menchville, number 42, Justin Catlett. All right, David Macklin, the Penn State recruit, bringing the ball across the timeline for Menchville. Macklin has the basketball. Excellent football player as well. And you see Ray Holcraft, number 44. Let's set the lineup out there for the Menchville Monarchs. Number 32, of course, is David Macklin, the senior guard, averaging 10 points a game. Number 44, Ray Holcraft. Number 42, Justin Catlett. Macklin with the jumper. It's good. Number 23 will be Mike Ricks. And also for the Menchville Monarchs will be number 5, Carnell Drawn. And the jumper by Denbigh is good.
That was nice spacing on the floor, but here come the Monarchs.
Right there's a jumper by the Monarchs, number 42. That was Catlett off the mark. Here come the Denbigh Patriots. There's Kelly, left side corner. Out to number 44, Jerry Cooper has been a 4-year player for this team for Denbigh. There's number 24, Antonio Robinson. Number 50, keep your eye on him, folks, Tony Perez. And here comes the Monarchs, Mike Ricks. Layup, and it's good.
Well, that was an excellent defensive situation right there by the Menchville Monarchs, and that's what they're going to have to do if they want to beat this Denbigh team.
Just underway in the first quarter, 5-3. Menchville leading it. It'll be Monarchs basketball. They're going right to left on the TV dial. White, gold, and purple purple shorts and gold trim with the white around it. Menchville. Denbigh in the road blue uniforms. Dennis Katufis has been the head coach there since the 84-85 campaign. We mentioned last year Denbigh was 10-12 overall. Here's Macklin. Right side corner, down low. That's Holdcraft. His sister has played for Menchville as well.
That's right. Colleen was a great player for many years here at Menchville, and now baby brother's going to step up and keep the family tradition going.
7-3 in favor of the Monarchs. They're 7-3 in the Peninsula District. They trail Bethel, who is check that tied with them 7-3, and also Phoebus 8-2. Here's Denbigh with the basketball right now. Hustling and bustling right there. The jumper by number 12, Kevin Kelly, the senior. Off the mark and a good shot right there. And Menchville has the basketball. Ricks, fast break.
Well, right there we saw Tony Perez with the putback, but unfortunately the Patriots didn't get back on defense quick enough, and Ricks had the easy score.
Both teams running and gunning. Right there with the basketball for Denbigh is number 24, Robinson. Left side to Kelly. Big three-pointer off the mark. Cooper inside, stolen away by number 5 for Menchville. That was drawn. And they're tied up, drawn, and looks like Kelly. And possession arrow goes to the Denbigh Patriots. In the ball game now for the Patriots coming in, Leon Washington for Denbigh. Head coach Dennis Katufis, assistants Maxie Anderson, the 1981 graduate of Ferguson. Also Buff Hockman, whose father is a principal of Denbigh, Dr. Stephen Hockman.
Right.
And also Ron Frazier.
And then we see big Tony Perez right in front of us.
6'5", senior forward, averaging 12 points a game. Right there is Robinson with the basketball. Top of the circle, Perez. Fakes one way, throws to Cooper. Left side, Jerry with the big shot off the mark. And a foul in the play. Don Ellis making that call. Live right here on Channel 6, 5:40 left in the first quarter. Exclusive Peninsula District basketball right here at Menchville and Denbigh.
That foul was against number 32, Dave Macklin, and it'll be the Patriots' ball. Tony Perez taking it out of bounds.
Perez right now with the basketball. Throws the right side corner to Cooper. Back out to Perez. Takes a jumper, and it's good. All net. Tony Perez.
He's got a nice soft touch for a big man.
Menchville immediately with the fast break. And that was number 5, Carnell Drawn with a nice layup.
That's one thing Menchville loves to do is run and gun, and here they go again.
And that's what Menchville's doing. Drawn all alone, and it's good. This Menchville team, to me, is a lot better than they were a year ago. They're getting more players involved. As a timeout on the score, with 5:13 left in the first quarter, it's Menchville 13, Denbigh 7.
Well, that's true, Greg. The team last year was a bit more physical, and they like to bump and grind you all night, but this team is speedy, and they like to get out there on the breaks and run and score some points. That's the major difference between this team and the team of last year.
5:13 left in the first quarter. We mentioned these teams have had a lot of great tradition over the years. Menchville's had players like David Pope and David Hagan, who are part of Coach Pop Pitts' team back during the 79-80 campaign. Coach Pitts, now the athletic director, Rodney Henderson, who went on to Penn State, right. John Harvell, and Troy Wright, who played for Denbigh and Menchville 10 years ago. Steve Wetstein, who's now at UVA. Paul Macklin, the older brother of David Macklin, and Andrew Young. Some great players for Menchville. Also Eric Mays and Lamont Mills recently. Lamont Mills is now at Frostburg State. All right, Denbigh has the basketball going left to right on the TV dial. Glad you're with us on Channel 6. There is Antonio Robinson dribbling across the timeline. Patiently. The sophomore guard averaging 2 points a game. Still has the basketball. Looking for somebody to throw to. Double team by Menchville. And there's Mike Ricks.
Great defensive pressure by the Monarchs, but Ricks turns it over.
And Washington has the basketball right now, the freshman guard. Folks, keep your eye on him. He's quite an athlete, Leon Washington is. Averaging 6 points a game. Menchville has the basketball. David Hagan, to me, was one of the best players Menchville ever had 15 years ago. Could shoot it off the glass.
That is true, Greg.
Right now for Menchville. Bringing the ball across the timeline is Drawn. Carnell Drawn, the senior guard. Down low to number 55. And that was Paul Michael. Misses Macklin with the follow-up. Off the mark. Rebound goes into the hands of Carlos Hurd. Out to Washington. Takes the jumper. And is fouled in the play by Carnell Drawn. Both these teams are playing very aggressive.
That's true, Greg. These teams are not backing down from either one of them. They're just coming hard. And that's the way you like to see it.
Menchville runs that motion offense, and they have those pressure defense. As right now at the free throw line is Leon Washington, a 5'11 freshman guard, averaging 6 points a game. We mentioned Denbigh this year is 5-5 overall. Had 9 wins last year, so we're in the second half of the Peninsula District season. Live right here on Channel 6. Menchville and Denbigh brought to you the Ferguson Wark game a year ago, and also other great games along the way. In fact, our first high school game was right here, Menchville and Phoebus back in the 91-92 campaign. The second shot by Washington is off. Rebound goes to Hurd, in the paint, back out to Washington, fakes. Out to Cooper, a dominant player in the pass. Has the basketball for Denbigh, number 44. Down low to Perez, and it's good. You get the ball down low to Perez, he's tough to stop.
Well, that's nice ball movement, Greg, and that's one of the keys that Denbigh needs to get a victory in this game. Take advantage of the mismatch down low with Perez.
And Menchville will be at the charity stripe right there. Menchville's got 2 fouls. Denbigh has 1, as Mike Ricks will be at the free throw line. This year, Denbigh defeated Menchville 74-67 in the first game.
That was a close one.
The shot by Ricks, number 23, is up and it's good. Michael Ricks, the senior guard.
Averaging over 14 points a game.
Substitutions right now for Denbigh. Big number 55 for the Patriots. Keith Saunders and number 42, Justin Catlett back in the game for the Monarchs. Mike Ricks, the senior. Shot is up and it's all net. Score now is 15-9 in favor of Menchville, up by 6 with 4:08 in the first quarter. Washington across the timeline to Macklin. You look at Washington's poise for a freshman, number 10. He's got a lot of poise.
Especially going up against the great defensive pressure of the Monarchs, he was just able to stay calm, and Macklin's got 2 fouls on him now.
Referees Warren Patrick, Bill Wessel, and Don Ellis. Glad you're with us for Peninsula District basketball. Some other great games going on tonight. Warwick and Gloucester. Also Kickotan at Tab, Hampton at Bethel, Phoebus at Lafayette. Here's Washington for Denbigh. Denbigh's had some great players in the past. Speedy Green. Sam Steen now playing for William & Mary. Coach Woolham. This player a couple years ago. Denbigh in the blue uniforms, right there at the basketball is number 53, Johnson. Has the basketball with the goggles on. Right side corner. And into the hands of number 15 from Menchville, Keith Wilson. Ricks with the basketball. Wilson can shoot it from the outside. Keep your eyes on him. Off the mark.
And Keith Wilson lit up Bethel for 31 points the other night, so he's a great outside shooter.
Cooper back out to Washington for Denbigh. Driving the lane, down low. Number 42, Hurd, misses. And the rebound goes in the hands of Johnson, the sophomore forward, will be at the free throw line. Good hustle.
Great hustle there, and the foul's on number 42, Justin Catlett.
Coach Dennis Katufis, we mentioned this year and had several great teams in the past, beat Alonzo Mourning and J.R. Reed, folks. That should tell you something about Dennis Katufis.
2 great players right there.
Also to mention George Walters, the dean of the Peninsula District in basketball, 22 years coaching Ferguson. Will be coming to an end. We'll see his team as the first shot is good by Johnson against Bethel on February the 9th.
Right. You don't want to miss that. That is the final homecoming game in the history of Ferguson basketball.
Nice crowd on here tonight, live right here on Channel 6. 3:19 left in the first quarter. 15-10 in favor of Menchville. And the shot is up, and it's good. Nice shot there by Johnson. As right now, bringing the ball across the timeline is Keith Wilson. Back to Ricks. Out to number 14, Matt Brockman, who just came in. Back out to Wilson.
Brockman can shoot the 3 too, so you need to watch out for him.
Mike Ricks. Wilson. Back out to number 42, Catlett, and a foul in the play. These teams are banging each other very much tonight.
That was a nice ball moving inside to Catlett by Wilson, and Justin just got mugged on the way up, so he'll go to the line.
All right, Justin Catlett, number 42, the senior center for this Menchville team. At the free throw line. Just joining us, Greg Picaveras, Nate Milton, live at Menchville High School, bringing you live and exclusive high school basketball on Channel 6. First shot is up, and it's good. Nice follow through there by Catlett.
That's true, Greg. Menchville spends a lot of time working on free throw shots, and I think it comes through in the games.
16-11. Menchville leading it by 5 with 2:58 left in the first quarter. Catlett has the basketball and shoots it up, and it's good. 17-11 Menchville. Bringing the ball across the timeline is Carlos Horde, the sophomore. 11 points a game. Good pressure defense there by Menchville. Hurd in the lane. It's good.
Nice play right there.
2:43, as you see across the midcourt line right now for Menchville, is Wilson bringing the ball across the timeline out to Ricks. Off the mark. Rebound to Hurd for Denbigh.
That's one thing Mike Ricks is not afraid to do, and that's shoot the ball.
Absolutely. And jumbled up right there was Wilson and 14 Brockman, as both teams making wholesale substitutions right now. Back in the game, drawn for Menchville. So it's drawn, Brockman, Wilson, Holdcraft, and looks like number 42, Justin Catlin in for Menchville. As you look at Dennis Katufis, head coach of the Denbigh Patriots. There's Brockman, right side corner for Menchville, in the purple, gold, and white in the lane, and he got in some big, tall territory right there.
Well, that really wasn't that smart move there by Brockman. He got up and he left his feet, and then there was nowhere to go, no one to pass it to. He had no shot. So obviously he needed better judgment on that play right there.
Denbigh has the basketball going left to right on your TV dial. Right there between the legs is Kelly. Has the basketball. 5'11 senior guard, 4 points a game. Kelly, free throw line. It's good.
The Monarchs.
1:58 left in the second quarter. Check that first quarter. 17-13 in favor of Menchville.
Right there, what you saw was a series of fast breaks, and neither one really turned out too good for either team.
Right now for Menchville is Wilson with the basketball. Bringing the ball across the timeline. Number 15 to Brockman. Wide open for the three. It's no good. And the rebound goes to Washington. He's speedy. He's only a freshman. Keep your eyes on him, folks. Very elusive player. Very raw, talented athlete, but he is very explosive.
Well, that's true, Greg. He is just very quick. I think he might be one of the few Denbigh players who can match speed for speed with the Monarch guards.
In the ball game right now for Denbigh is Keith Sanders, Jerry Cooper, Carlos Hurd, Kevin Kelly, and number 10, Leon Washington. Denbigh has the basketball. There's Kelly. Going against Ricks. Right side corner to Washington. Turnover will be Menchville's basketball. With 1:37 left in quarter number one. Bringing the ball across the timeline right now for Menchville is Ben Williams. Right side corner to Brockman. Top of the circle to Ricks. We're at Menchville High School live on Channel 6. Glad you're with us. Big crowd on hand tonight. Brockman, right side corner, jumper, it's good.
You can't give Brockman any space, because if you give him even an inch, he'll nail that jumper every time.
Good point there, Nate. Brockman for Menchville. Only a junior. Denbigh. Jerry Cooper needs to get explosive. He's averaging about 10 points a game. Washington to Kelly. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound goes to Sanders. Off the mark still, and it's Menchville basketball. Fast break. Here's Ricks. And a foul in the play. It'll be on Denbigh.
Ricks looks to be in pain, Greg.
It's a replay coming up right now. As an injured player right there, you look at, I believe it's Mike Ricks on the floor. That's Coach Greg Henderson in his 5th year. Comes out. It's a replay coming up right now. There you take a look at number 14, Matt Brockman. Nice jumper.
That's true, Greg, and that's what he's done for the Monarchs all season, giving them that great outside shot.
We mentioned leading the year in the Peninsula District in scoring this year is Marseille Brown with 35 points a game.
Whoa.
We'll be going to Richmond next year. The Kickotan players, you see the injured player right there, Michael Ricks. Hopefully he's okay. Just like Chiloas Lyons got a little injured in the first game.
He's holding his left knee, Greg, and I hope it's not serious.
Live doubleheader tonight on Channel 6. Glad you're with us. Menchville's girls won the first game 59-37 over Denbigh. I was waiting to see the injured player. To update the district standings right now, Phoebus is 8-2, Bethel is 7-3, Menchville is 7-3, Hampton is 6-2. Kickotan, of course, is 5-4, as well as Denbigh and Warwick are both 5-5. Ferguson 4-7. Lafayette 4-6. Tab 3-7. and Gloucester 0-10. 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Leading scores, Brown for Kecoughtan as Rick's running off the floor. Brown, 35 points a game. Bolden for Gloucester, 19 points a game. These are the leading scorers in the Peninsula District. Barnes with 17, Curry with 16, Foster with 15, Hilliard with 15. As we're back to live action, Macklin with 14.
And that's a good sign, Greg, when you see Rick's able to run off the court, because that means he'll be back for more action later.
He's averaging 14 points a game. Macklin 14. Olvis with 14 points a game for Lafayette. Gray with 14 for Phoebus. Howe 14 for Gloucester. 13 for Higgs at Ferguson. 13 for Fox at Hampton. 12 for Harold Ferguson. And 12 for Perez, who's playing out here tonight for Denbigh. Macklin with the basketball to Brockman, right side corner. He's a junior. Top of the circle to number 3, Williams. Williams has the basketball in the lane, shoots it up, no good. And the rebound by the Monarchs, and the follow through is good by big number 50.
That was Bobby Atwell there.
Only a freshman, folks. 19 seconds in the first quarter. Washington with the basketball for Denbigh. He's just a freshman. Right side corner. Takes a jumper, and it's good. Nice shot there by Caldwell, Quinn's Caldwell. 4 points a game, 5 seconds. Macklin gets it stolen away. Here's Washington with 2 seconds, and the layup is good at the buzzer.
That was a nice play right there, Greg.
And Dennis Katufis' teams have always been able to get points right there when it counts the most.
That is very true. But right now, if I'm Coach Katufis, I see the freshman Bobby Atwell starting at center for the Monarchs. I'm not so sure I wouldn't go to Tony Perez each and every time until Atwell can prove that he can stop him.
Mentioned Coach Henderson at Menchville, 46-54. You see the cheerleaders right there. This year, it's a replay coming up right there. There you see him, number 50, the big player for Menchville. As you just mentioned to us, Nate, Bobby Atwell just pounding it inside the glass.
He's got a big body. He positioned himself perfectly for that rebound. He was able to put it back up.
This year, Menchville is taking on Denbigh, 74-67. Bethel, 90-76. Lost to Warwick, 63-61. Beat Gloucester. Also, they have defeated Lafayette. Lost to Kecoughtan by 1 point. Beat Ferguson by 5. And also, they beat Tab. So, 7-3. As right in front of us, number 50, Bobby Atwell, the freshman. Menchville going with some youth right now on the floor. Ben Williams, the sophomore. Right there is number 5, Carnell Drawn. The basketball back out to Williams. Out to Atwell.
Brookman's open.
And there's back out to number 3, Williams. Takes a jumper. Off. It's an air ball. In the ball game right now is Brockman. Number 42, Catlett. Number 3, Williams. Number 50, Bobby Atwell. And in the ball game right now for the Menchville Monarchs. So Brockman, Drawn, Catwell, Williams, and Atwell in the ball game for Menchville. As in the ball game right now, replacement number 54, Mark Ardrey, comes to the game for the Monarchs. Here's Tony Perez, averaging 12 points a game.
Keep your eye on Mark Ardrey, folks, and see if he favors that left leg.
Washington, the elusive athlete, just a freshman. Look at him move. Out to Cooper, the 4-year starter for Denbigh. Drives the lane. He's played with Sam Steen a couple years ago. There's Perez, misses. Rebound goes to Williams. So Coach Henderson giving the young players a little break right now.
Well, that's true, Greg. And I think Coach Henderson is relieved that he has the confidence in his young players to know that if a star like Ricks or Macklin goes out, they can always bring up the youth like Bobby Atwell and Ben Williams.
Well, Mike Talon's Phoebus Phantoms leading the Peninsula District 8-2. Some great teams in the Bay Rivers District this year in Southampton as well as Franklin. And, of course, Indian River over there in Chesapeake doing very well this year with Jason Capel. Here's Perez for Denbigh. Left side corner. Out to Washington. Takes the jumper. Too hard. And it'll be Menchville basketball going right to left on your TV dial. There's Ben Williams. Cross-court pass to Brockman. Wide open. Decides to pass it. There's Drawn for Menchville. Menchville working very patiently. They can run and gun or they can play patient.
There you see Drawn. He's open. It doesn't go.
Off the mark, and the rebound goes to Jerry Cooper. They need some more rebounds for him if Denbigh's going to be successful the latter half of the season. And the jumper is off by number 42, Hurd. And a lot of arms in the lane. And it'll be Denbigh basketball. Both teams in the bonus situation.
Well, Tony Perez with the rebound right there, and he went for the putback but didn't quite get it. But now he's at the charity stripe, and let's see what he can do.
Number 50 for the Denbigh Patriots. Perez averaging 12 points a game. Play with Sam Steen. And so many great players in this Denbigh team in the years past. Denbigh in their road blue uniforms going left to right on the TV dial. Live on Channel 6. And the shot is up, and it's good. Coach Katufis, Dennis Katufis, yelling out number 2. He was an assistant to Wark back under Jim Harvey back in the early 80s.
Right.
And the shot rolls in and out. In for the follow-up is number 32. Tony Burton misses, and rebound goes to Menchville. Here come the Monarchs. There's number 54, Ardrey. Has the basketball. Menchville leading it 22-18 with 6 minutes left. Macklin, and a foul in the play, and it'll be on the Denbigh Patriots, and that was number 32, Tony Burton.
Well, that was a smart play right there by David Macklin to get his man up in the air, and then once you got your man up in the air, you can do with him what you want. Now, Mark Ardrey hadn't seen him be favoring that leg. Either he recuperated quickly or he's doing a great job of gritting it out. Here we see Macklin at the free throw line, and he is an excellent free throw shooter.
6:03 left in the second quarter. Menchville leading at 22-18. Macklin, it's good. Talk about guys Macklin's played with. He played with Steve Wetstein and also Eric Mays and those guys his brother played with.
Right.
Lamont Mills played here a couple years ago. Is now at Frostburg. Here's Denbigh. Has the basketball going left to right. Denbigh lost to Menchville 74-67 the first time they played. In the ball game right now, Washington, Hurd, Cooper, Perez, and Burton for Denbigh. Perez has the basketball with the crew cut. There's Jerry Cooper, top of the circle, number 44, a 4-year starter. Looked at several small colleges looking at Jerry Cooper. There's the ball right side to Perez, out to Washington. Back out to Cooper for Denbigh. Menchville playing in that zone right now. They pressure defense, and good patience there by Denbigh.
Well, I guess Coach Katufis was listening to us over here because they're trying to work the ball into Perez against the youngster Atwell. But right there, Atwell said he's not going to be intimidated, and he picked up the foul, but that was a great defensive play.
24-18, Tony Perez at the free throw line right now for the Denbigh Patriots. Excellent student as well for the Patriots. Athletic Director Tom Butler, Principal Dr. Stephen Hockman for Denbigh. Also from Menchville, the principal, Dr. John Kilpatrick, only the second principal in school history.
Right.
And the athletic director, Richard Pop Pitts, who replaced Jim Snow several years ago. And the shot by Perez is good. 4-point ball game. Menchville leading it by 4. 24-20. Glad you're with us live on Channel 6. Ardrey, Mark Ardrey, started from a year ago, in the lane. Out to number 5, Drawn. Menchville in the white, gold, and purple, off the foot, and back into the hands of Ardrey. Back out to Macklin. Fakes one way, shoots it up, and it's no good. Big Tony Perez gets the rebound.
He snatched it down.
Denbigh's got several players over 6'3". That's one of them right there, Jerry Cooper, who's 6'3" himself. Cooper in trouble, gets it out to Washington, into the hands of Ardrey, stolen away. Macklin behind the back.
And it's good.
And the third attempt there by Michael Ricks is good.
Little dipsy-do work there by the Monarchs. And like you said, Greg, Denbigh has the size, but the Monarchs have the speed.
And both teams playing very aggressive live on Channel 6. Greg Picaveras, Nate Milton, the entire Channel 6 special events crew. I want to thank all the people at Menchville for all the great hospitality they provided us tonight and teamwork. 4:43 left in the second quarter. There's Kelly, the leader of this team. Denbigh's always had good point guards, whether it's Sam Steen, Speedy Green, John Waters, John Bolden. They've had great players. Macklin backdoor.
That was just great open court passing there by the Monarchs. and they're getting these fans into this game right now.
Here's Kevin Kelly for Denbigh. Right side corner, guarded by Macklin. Out to Cooper, almost walked right there. Back out to Kelly. There's a quick pass to Perez. Jumper is good.
Perez has that height advantage on Ray Holcraft, and he'll take that all night.
David Macklin bringing the ball across the timeline for Menchville. The Penn State recruit throws it out to Mike Ricks. Off the mark. Instant replay coming up by Paul Cummings, our executive producer, and the Channel 6 staff. There you see right there. Perez out to David Macklin, and Perez just staying there watching David Macklin.
Well, that's all he could do. He didn't want to pick up a cheap foul there. He's already in foul trouble, so that was really a smart play by Tony Perez. There you see the fans. They're rocking.
All right, yeah, rocking and rolling tonight at Menchville High School, live on Channel 6. Greg Bicaveras and Nate Milton, glad you're with us tonight at Monarch Country in Menchville, live and exclusive Peninsula District basketball on Channel 6. Also live school board meetings and live homework television right here on Channel 6. And the shot right there by number 32, Tony Burden, averaging 1 point a game. Burden for Denbigh is a senior forward. Second shot is up, and it's good.
The Monarchs got the ball. Keith Wilson's going to bring it up court.
Wilson has the basketball to Mike Ricks. Back out to Wilson. Good shooter. Reminds me a lot of Hagan, who could shoot off the glass 15 years ago for Menchville, but he's called for a walking violation. Tony Perez being looked at several Division I and Division II schools. I'm sure Coach Bob Schmidt, the football coach, would have liked to see him play basketball as well.
Well, that's true, Greg. Tony Perez, he's a great all-around athlete, but this is his sport right here.
Antonio Robinson with the basketball. Back out to Perez at the free throw line, wide open. He can shoot from in and outside. He's really gained a lot of weight. Looks really good this year.
I mean, just because the guy is big doesn't mean he doesn't have a sweet touch. You can't give Tony Perez that kind of look at the basket.
6'5" senior Perez doing it all. Wilson. Back out to number 5, drawn out of bounds. It'll stay Menchville basketball. 3:19 left in the first half. Menchville leading it by 2, 28-26. Game going nip and tuck. Ricks in the lane, off. Denbigh trying to look for the tie of the ball game. Jerry Cooper. Running gun, they can do it all. Patience, whatever. Sideline was Perez and fouled by, it looks like Holcraft on the play.
Well, that was a great move there by the Patriots to get it inside to Perez, and he was hammered, so now he goes to the free throw line.
Menchville has Lafayette coming up, and Phoebus, Bethel, Kickotan, Warwick, Ferguson, Gloucester, Tab, and Hampton in the remaining games before the showdown at the Peninsula District Tournament at Hampton University. Nate, while we got some time, the state Division I schools doing very well this year. Old Dominion at 6-8, William Mary at 4-6 off that big win off Richmond and James Madison a couple days ago.
Right.
Richmond is 4-7. Virginia Tech is 8-1. UVA and Jeff Jones are 6-5. Christopher Newport are 10-2. Cheerleaders doing very well tonight. HU is 4-11 in the first year of Division I.
And you mentioned ODU earlier. Coach Caples had large expectations to live up to after last year's NCAA tournament appearance, and I think they're living up to it this year.
ODU women are 10-2 after that loss to Tennessee last night, 69-47. For you hockey fans, the Admirals are 21-7-10. The Bullets got a winning record, 17-16, and the Capitals are 19-17-4 in hockey.
Haven't had a chance to say that in a while about the Bullets.
Bullets doing very well. Jawan Howard. Perez at the free throw line is up, and it's good. 3:06 remaining in the first half. Perez trying to tie it right here. Shot is up, off. Rebound to Hurd with the miss, and Wilson gets the rebound for Menchville. Keith Wilson, number 15. Just a sophomore. Turnover. Hurd, almost traveling. Regains his momentum. Down to Perez. He's been the hot one so far. To Cooper. And a nice move by Jerry Cooper as Denbigh gets a lead, 29-28 over the rivals Menchville.
Well, that was great presence of mind there by Cooper. He saw the blocks coming, so he just hesitated and then took the ball back up and was able to score.
Ricks, baseline. Good. Menchville won the first game 74-67 back in the first part of the season, back in December. Instant replay coming up in just a moment. Do you see Jerry Cooper for Denbigh, 4-year starter? All right, instant replay coming up right now on Channel 6 live at Menchville. Great staff and students working together. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton. Here's the instant replay right now. There you see Hurd. Nate, take it away.
Right now you see they've got Tony Perez, and that draws the defense, but then they get it inside to Cooper, and right there he just adjusted in midair and was able to score.
All right. Menchville going right to left. Glad you're with us on Channel 6 live for high school basketball. Ricks down low. And Menchville has the basketball right now with 1:55 left in the first half. Dennis Katufas working those referees tonight. Warren Patrick and Bill Wessel and Don Ellis. Full court pressure defense by Menchville. Out of bounds. And it'll be Monarchs basketball once again with 1:54. Holdcraft out to Macklin. He's a spark plug. Had over 1,000 yards rushing for Menchville's football team. A 4-year starter. Played wide receiver and running back in his 4 years. Turnover, Denbigh basketball. Denbigh's not giving Menchville too many opportunities tonight.
No, they aren't, Greg, and that was a rookie mistake there by the veteran Carnell John, and I think he's going to get it talking about that by Coach Henderson.
Cooper with the basketball. 1:44 left in the second quarter. 30-29, Menchville up by 1 point with Jerry Cooper at the free throw line. This year, Denbigh lost to Menchville 74-67. They defeated Lafayette 80-54. Beat Bethel by 1, 55-54. Lost to Kickingham 61-53. You see Jerry Cooper. Cooper's first shot is good. Averaging 10 points a game. Lost to Warwick 42-37. Beat Ferguson 52-41 and Gloucester 44-39. Second shot rolls off. Defeated Tab by 15, 56-41. Lost to Hampton 69-53. Macklin, no good. And lost to Phoebus the last game 69-63. Here's Cooper with 1:30 left in the first half. Out to Hurd. Here's Carlos in the lane. It's good. Picture perfect layup.
That was an excellent layup.
And a nice steal by Robinson. Denbigh has the lead, 32-30.
Good defense there on that last play by Mike Ricks to get the ball back.
In the ball game right now is Ben Williams, Mike Ricks, Holdcraft, Brockman, and Paul Michael from Menchville. Brockman, outside three-pointer, no good. Rebound goes to Cooper. Cooper and Perez are a force in between. Those guys are big. 6'3" right there, Jerry Cooper. He's a veteran, too. Denbigh with the basketball in the blue, red, and white. Right there for the Patriots, Scott Grass in the lane, and it'll be a jump ball, and now the referee is calling it a foul. Denbigh basketball.
That was on number 44, Ray Holcraft, and he was not pleased with that call.
Denbigh has Bethel, Phoebus, Gloucester, Warwick, Lafayette, Tab, Kickingham, and Hampton remaining. 49 seconds before the half. And at the free throw line will be number 42, the sophomore, Carlos Hurd. Really made a big role this year.
Well, that's true, Greg. They've had a lot of young players blossom this year, and then with the leadership of guys like Perez and Jerry Cooper, this is a team to be reckoned with. Don't let their 5-5 record fool you.
Also, Dick Tyson and Gary Sylvie doing a great job as athletic directors, respectively, for the Newport Youth School System. And the second shot is up, and it's good by Hurd. Here comes Williams across the timeline. Menchville right to left, the home white uniforms. 7-3 this year, and it'll be Menchville basketball.
You got two youngsters in there for the Monarchs, at Michaels and Bobby Atwell right there. And they're going to have to show and prove right now.
Here's Michael Ricks with 35 seconds. Down low to number 50, the freshman. Atwell, and it'll stay Menchville's basketball since 33 seconds left. in period number 2, live on Channel 6, Menchville and Denbigh. Denbigh gets the ball. And as quickly as you can say it, a foul in the play by number 55. That was, for Denbigh, Keith Saunders. A little aggressive there for the senior.
Well, that was a smart foul there by Saunders because there was nobody in between the basket and Ben Williams except his own teammate, Bobby Adwell.
Mike Ricks, Williams, Atwell, number 34 for Menchville, Farmer, and Brockman in for Menchville. And free throw line is Ben Williams, the sophomore guard. First shot by number 3 is up, and it's no good. Rebound goes to Hurd. Hurd, left side to Kelly. Down low to Grass, and it's good. Nice jumper right there by number 52, Scott Grass, the senior. Ricks. And draws the foul on Carlos Hurd. Both teams in the bonus with 14 seconds, Nate.
Well, that was a good play right there by Ricks. He pressed up on the defense, and he was able to draw the foul and go to the line.
14 seconds. The referee right there, Don Ellis, got here just at the last minute. And Coach Pop Hitch was telling him to get into the game. I guess he assumed the girls' game was going to go longer than it did. The weather was also a factor as well.
I'm sure it was.
Mike Ricks at the free throw line. Perez coming in for Grass the last 14 seconds. It was a nice jumper there by Grass to make that three-pointer.
Right.
And Denbigh leading it 35-31 with 14 seconds. Ricks is good. All right, Leon Washington in the game now for Denbigh. 35-32. Denbigh leading Menchville on the road.
Denbigh's going to hold here for the last shot, so let's see what they come up with.
Kevin Kelly across the timeline with 6 seconds. Perez down low, too hard. And the follow-up rebound by number 55, Saunders, and he'll get fouled.
I believe the foul was on number 3, Ben Williams, and that wasn't a smart foul right there. Check that, it was on number 50, Bobby Atwell, and that's the freshman's 3rd foul of the night.
3 seconds to see the scoreboard. We're at Menchville High School. A lot of tradition here at Menchville. They won the district tournament, district title last year for the first time since the 79-80 campaign. 7 of 8 Menchville players have returned. That's helped Menchville a lot this year as Saunders misses the free throw. Key players for Menchville, Macklin, Ardrey, and Ricks. With the young players doing very well.
That's right. Bobby Atwell, not 3 weeks ago, was still playing on JV.
All right, 3 seconds. Williams will go deep. Out to Ricks. 2, 1. Half court is just off. Nice try there by Mike Ricks. With the score, Denbigh 35, Menchville 32. Greg Bicaveras along with Nate Milton, and both teams doing very well. Menchville started off very well, but then you saw Denbigh with Perez and Cooper right there in control.
Well, that's true, Greg. Menchville did come out fast and strong. The problem with a running team is sometimes they run out of gas. And to Denbigh's credit, they did take advantage of the mismatch in the middle by utilizing Cooper on the outside and going into Tony Perez.
All right, we got halftime festivities coming up, some interviews coming up as well. As we're at halftime right here, Peninsula District basketball right here on Channel 6. Other games going on tonight, weather permitting. Warwick at Gloucester, Phoebus at Lafayette, Kecoughtan at Tab, Hampton at Bethel. All right, so with halftime, with the score is now Denbigh 35, Menchville 32. We'll take a break and be back after this live on Channel 6 from Menchville.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, who reads a tachometer like a love story, for whom the roar of fully blown horsepower is a lullaby, have we got a machine for you. We call it the F-16 Fighting Falcon. It'll crank out a generous 50,000 horsepower, enough to push it from 0 to 1350 in under a minute. And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force.
Why don't you come up here, Pumpkin?
What are you doing, Larry?
Well, Vince, I've asked my pumpkin to sit on my lap to prove a point.
And what is that, your Larryness?
Even if we fasten our safety belts, even if you hold on tight, even if you were watching the road, in a crash, your pumpkin will be nothing but a squash.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Use child safety seats.
We love that little pumpkin to pieces.
Music has one thing that really helps people. It makes you feel good. It uplifts you.
Just think of a world without music. It would be a sad place.
Music allows children to understand the sound of beauty.
I think if you don't have music within you, you don't have a soul. Society must have a soul.
And welcome back live to Menchville High School. Greg Picaveras along with Nate Milton, where Menchville at home leads the Denbigh Patriots 35-32. And right now for Denbigh, you talk about Perez and Cooper, Tony Perez and Jerry Cooper. They've really been a big factor as they're leading right now by 3 points inside.
Well, that's true, Greg. And one of the keys to Denbigh leading this game is the fact that they've been able to control the tempo. Sometimes they've gone out and run with Menchville, but other times they've slowed it down and worked into Perez.
And Menchville's used a lot of their depth. They have a lot of depth, a lot of players coming in and out of the bench. Has been a big trademark for Greg Henderson in his 5th year as the coach of Menchville. When you talk about Menchville's team, you talk about Macklin and Ricks,
right.
But the young players like Brockman and Atwell have done very well.
Well, that's true, Greg. When you think about the Monarchs, you obviously think of Macklin and Ricks, but they've got great players, and Coach Henderson has coached them well. And anytime, any situation, they're ready to come in and play.
And Nate, you had a chance to interview some people from Denbigh and Menchville. We mentioned this year. All right, let's go to an interview right now that we had earlier with the coaches.
Confidence. If you let me play sports. If you let me play.
If you let me play. I will be 60% less likely to get breast cancer.
I will suffer less depression.
If you let me play sports.
I will be more likely to leave a man who beats
If you let me play.
I'll be less likely to get pregnant before I want to.
I will learn.
I will learn what it means to be strong.
To be strong.
If you let me play.
Play sports.
If you let me play sports.
I have today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps.
For 35 years, Peace Corps volunteers around the world have been helping people to help themselves. And for all they put in, they come back with something even greater, a commitment to service and solving problems right here at home. Peace Corps, for 35 years, changing America and changing the world.
Nate Milton here at Denbigh High School, and joining me at this time is the senior center for the Patriots, Tony Perez. Tony, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Now, Tony, when you started out this season, you had goals, I'm sure. What were some of those goals, and have you met them?
Well, mainly for us as a team, we wanted to play good, solid defense and try to make it. We felt that we had a team that could at least compete for the district title. Although Menchville and Hampton are always one of the highest, we feel that we are even better than them. Actually, it's been a struggle the first half of the season, finishing with 5-5, but we're going to put that behind us to mainly concentrate on the second half of the season, try to go 10-0, and at least try to get into the district tournament to try to make it to the regional finals or regional tournament.
And as some of our viewers may know, you're one of the top scorers in the district, averaging over 12 points a game. When you work on your game, do you concentrate more on the scoring aspect or on the defense?
Mainly a little bit of both, really. A lot of times I'm by myself. I like to go up to the Warner Center and just shoot around a lot. Mainly work on like in and out games, and then mainly in practice we concentrate more on defense because usually it's harder to find players who have the high school aspect of the game where they can actually play to put defense on somebody. It's a lot easier to do that, work on it in a gym. More players, more of your ability to be able to do that.
And tonight you go up against the Menchville Monarchs. When you talk about the Monarchs, you got to talk about players like David Macklin, Mark Ardrey, and Mike Ricks. What do you think you and the team will have to do to defeat the Monarchs tonight?
Well, mainly we think they're a lot quicker than us, so we're going to try to keep the ball up, not dribble as much. That's what they beat us last game. less dribbling, more passing. We feel we're a lot bigger down low. If we take it up strong against them, get them in foul trouble early, we think we can take them out of the game. Just control Macklin, don't let them press us too much. We think we can win.
Well, thank you for taking time out for us today, Tony.
Thank you.
Joining me at this time is a senior guard on the Menchville High Monarch basketball team, David Macklin. David, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Now, last year, the Monarch team was a bit of a surprise as they took the Peninsula District Championship. Have you felt any pressure this year as being the defending champions as opposed to last year when nobody expected you to win?
Well, yeah, this year, I feel a lot of pressure. The team, we have a lot of pressure on us. Everybody's going to be coming after us and everything. But, pretty much is, winning and losing, now we just pretty much got to relax, play our games.
Now, this year you're averaging over 14 points. Most people say you're having a pretty good year. What is your opinion on your year up to date?
I feel like I'm playing all right. I can play better, Hopefully the second part of the year, we'll be playing better, especially me. Just team-wise, me getting the ball to certain players and everything, so it's pretty cool. I feel like, everything's pretty much, favoring our way, as long as we just keep our head straight and playing hard.
Now, tonight you go up against Tony Perez and the 5-5 Denbigh Patriots. Now, their record might not be as impressive as yours, but they're still a tough team. What do you think will be the keys to the Monarchs defeating the Patriots tonight?
Well, tonight, just pretty much, we just got to keep them off the boards and, play hard defense like, we did last year, and pretty much the game will go our way.
Thank you for joining us, David. Joining me at this time is a senior guard for the Menchville High School Monarch basketball team, Mike Ricks. Mike, thank you for joining us today. Now, Mike, you were a member of the Monarch District Championship team last year, and you're also a very prominent member of the team this year. Have you noticed the difference in the two teams?
Yes, it's like a little difference. Last year we was, we played good, but this year it's like off and on. We ain't playing as good as we did last year, and I think we need to do a lot of more things now to get back like it was last year, to be defending champions.
Now, you're averaging double figures this year in scoring, and some people would say that you're having a pretty good year. How do you think your year has gone so far?
It's going on all right, but it could be better, because we play team-wise. It's just not like one person can come down and score all the points and stuff. It's just a team game. We can play as a team this year.
Now, tonight you go head-to-head with the Denbigh Patriots. They're a pretty tough team, as you know. What do you think the keys are going to be tonight to get a victory?
Well, we're going to have to box out because they got a lot of big men and put pressure defense on the guards and stuff because they can penetrate good and stuff. But boxing out is the key to tonight's game.
Well, thank you and good luck, Mike.
Thank you.
With me at this time is Mark Ardrey, a senior forward for the Monarch basketball team. Mark, thank you for joining us today. Now, Mark, last year Menchville shocked a lot of people winning the district championship. And you were a starting member on both of those teams, the team last year and the team this year. Now, has there been a difference between the two teams, and if so, what was it?
Last year, nobody was expecting us to win district. They picked us like 8th out of best of 10, and we surprised everybody. This year, everybody's coming after us. And that's pretty much the difference now.
Now, Mark, you're a very versatile type of player. Some nights you go out and score 15 to 16 points. Other nights you'll go out and score 2 points but get 10 rebounds. Some nights you'll score 2 points and have 20 assists or something. How would you describe your game, and how do you feel your season's gone up to date?
My season's going up. The game is coming up and down because sometimes my shot is falling, sometimes it's not. But coach is helping me get it back together. Pretty soon I should have it constant again before the season's over and we start the district tournament.
Now tonight you go up against the Denbigh Patriots, and I assume for much of the game you'll have to defend Tony Perez. Is there anything special that you have in mind for tonight?
Just to keep him out the lane, keep him off the glass.
Menchville High School, the Monarchs lead it right now. It's tied 35-all in the underway of the third quarter. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton with you live on Channel 6 as Tony Perez goes in there for his 16th point of the game, Nate.
Well, that was a nice move there by Perez, Greg. He faked like he was going to shoot the three, then he moved inside and got the easy layup.
All right, Menchville going left to right on the TV dial. They have the basketball, and they're trailing by 2. Ricks off the mark. In the game right now is Kelly Cooper, number 24 for Denbigh as well. is Antonio Robinson. Back out to Hurd. And Perez in the game right now as the shot by Hurd is good.
That's what the Monarchs are going to have to guard against. Perez getting the ball to other players.
That was Hurd's 11th point of the ball game. And the big-time dunk is off.
I'd say, Greg, that grew a thunderous ovation from the crowd, but all it gave the Denbigh Patriots right there is a trip to the free throw line.
Ignites a big crowd reaction to Carlos Hurd, the sophomore, 6'3". Has got 11 points in tonight's ball game, playing very well. So you have on the floor for Menchville, Drawn, Macklin, Holcraft, Ricks, as well as number 55, Michael. As Denbigh right now fired up, and they're leading it by 5, 40-35. The leading scores for Menchville, Ricks and Macklin, 12 and 7 respectively.
No surprise there, Greg. And a smart substitution by Coach Henderson there, bringing in Mark Ardrey for Paul Michaels.
Menchville has the basketball. David Macklin, the Penn State recruit, will be playing football for Joe Paterno next year. Menchville 7-3, Denbigh 5-5. Always a close game. Menchville won the first one, 74-67 earlier this year. Glad you're with us live on Channel 6. And there's a jumper, and it's good by number 5 for Menchville, Carnell Drawn, the senior.
Well, Drawn had all day to look at and size up the basket, and when he got the ball, he was ready to shoot.
There's Kelly. Outlet to number 24, Robinson. Back out to Hurd. It's off the mark. Big rebound by number 5 from Menchville. Drawn.
That was a good rebound, but he wasn't under control when he came down. Perez stripped it and got the easy bucket.
Perez gets so many easy baskets like that. Perez in the year is scoring 12 points a game for Denbigh.
That was a nice play there by Ray Holcraft, getting Perez off his feet and then coming back around with the layup.
There's Perez. Instant replay coming up in just a second, and there's a nice jumper by Hurd off the mark. Rebound goes to Ricks. Ricks left side, number 23 for Menchville. There's number 54 for the Monarchs. And a jumper by Mark Audrey is off, and it'll be Menchville's basketball. And there's a nice replay right there for Menchville. And they're trailing it 43-40 against Denbigh right now in the third quarter with 5:39 left. Holcraft inbounds to Macklin. Macklin has the basketball. Out to Ricks. Ricks right side corner. Number 5 for Menchville. And that was Carnell Drawn.
That was a nice play right there by Drawn to draw the defense, and he also picked up a cheap way to get to the free throw line.
5:30 left in the third quarter. Denbigh has 2 fouls. Menchville has 1. That foul was on number 42 for the Patriots, Carlos Hurd, who's got 3 fouls. And just like you can say that, Leon Washington comes to the game for Denbigh, the freshman guard, the 5'11 player, averaging 6 points a game.
Well, you talk about Menchville's depth, Greg. Denbigh's got a little depth here, and they're showing it right now.
In and out by Drawn. Washington, Perez, Robinson, Kelly, and Cooper in for Denbigh. And the shot by Drawn is all net. 43-41 is the score. Denbigh up by 2, and Perez called for a walking violation.
That was not smart right there by Tony Perez. He stopped and then shuffled his feet a little bit, and that was a good call there by the ref.
Since Coach Henderson's been here since the 91-92 campaign. Prior to that, he was a work assistant, and so was Dennis Katufis, the current Denbigh coach. Greg Henderson graduated from Shaw University, was a guest on Newport News Sports Highlights back in April of 94. Timeout with the score. Denbigh 43, Menchville 41.
Well, Greg, Menchville right now is trying to ease back into this game. As you notice, they've had less fast breaks, and they've run more set plays, and I think that's going to help them get back into this game. It's fine to fast break when you're ahead, maybe by 5 or 6 points, but when you're down, you don't need to fast break because that leads to easy turnovers.
Last game for Denbigh, they lost 69-63 to Phoebus, who is now leading the Peninsula District 8-2. Mike Talon doing a great job. He coached the girls team with Lakeisha Frett. Now he's doing it with the guys as well.
Well, that's true, Greg. A very good coaching staff right there.
Carlos Hurd scored 21 points against Denbigh in the last game, and Jerry Cooper had 13. Perez had 7. When you get those guys together, Carlos Hurd, Jerry Cooper, and Perez, those are 3 of the best players in the Peninsula District.
That's true, Greg. I mean, when you look at Tony Perez's average, 12 points, that might not be too impressive. But when you add that to 3 other teammates in double figures, that's a nice team right there.
Also, Kelly had 6, Johnson had 2, and Caldwell had 9, and Washington had 5. For Phoebus in that game, Joe Fields had 17 in the winning cause. There's Macklin, a 4-year starter in both football and basketball. His brother Paul Macklin played here 4 years ago with players like Steve Wetstein and Eric Mays. Macklin, around the left side to Ricks. Jumper is off the mark. Rebound goes back into the hands of Ricks, off the foot, and into the hands of Perez for Denbigh, number 50.
Well, that was great defense, and here he goes again.
All speed. Macklin puts it in.
Well, that's one thing that keeps the Monarchs in games. They might be a little sloppy with their transition play, but their defense keeps them in games.
Right there for Denbigh is the basketball is Kelly. Brings the ball across the midcourt line, right side to Perez. Perez, big, tall, Tony Perez, 6'5". Out to Hurd, misses the backdoor layup. And here comes David Macklin of Menchville, number 32. Big, strong arms of Macklin. Left side to Drawn. Greg Henderson replacing Phil Forbes, who's now coaching the women's basketball team here. Richard Pop Pitts led this team to a district title back in 1980. Menchville with the basketball. Drawn, turn around, down low to Ricks. Layup is no good. Rebound to Perez.
Well, the Monarchs spent too much time on the perimeter right there, Greg. They should have attacked inside. Ray Holcraft had position on Tony Perez, and he might have scored.
And you can see that three-pointer wide open by Kelly. Elevates Menchville's lead to 46-43. And a big block there by Jerry Cooper.
Jerry Cooper said, "Not in my house, Mike Ricks, not in my house."
Well, the house is Menchville, but Denbigh is leading it by 3 with 3:55 left in the third quarter. Glad you're with us live right here on Channel 6. Menchville and Denbigh, the women's team won earlier of Monarchs. And David Macklin answers back with a three-pointer.
And that's one thing Macklin can do, and that's shoot the tray.
Very intense game like we expected. Kelly across the timeline, out to Perez. Cooper wide open, and rebound goes to Holcraft. Out of bounds, Menchville basketball.
Well, that's
instant replay coming up, Nate.
All right.
Take us through it.
Right there, you see the excellent arc, and as you see, it's going to swish right here. Kevin Kelly, with the nice rotation.
Macklin, right side to Holcraft, back out to Macklin, dangerous from anywhere. Very unselfish player, and a nice jumper by Keith Wilson. He did that very good against Gloucester during the big Super Day they had here about a month ago. He's a good outside shooter.
Speaking of dangerous from anywhere, Greg, Keith Wilson is one of the top three-pointers on this team, as he just showed us.
Perez to Kelly, who can also shoot from 3. Down low to Cooper, shakes and bakes in the middle. Out of bounds. No sidewalk talk tonight. These teams are playing for real. Lucas Creek Road separates them. These teams are playing excellent tonight. Great basketball live on Channel 6. Peninsula District basketball at its best.
Well, that's true, Greg. And as you see Macklin bringing the ball up court, the Monarchs are struggling, but they need to get Mark Ardrey into the game, integrate him in the scoring, and I believe that'll help them out.
Wilson wide open for the 3. It's off. Rebound, big Tony Perez. And a little elbows right there between Perez and Ray Holcraft.
The temper's starting to flare now, Greg, and I hope they can keep that under control. We don't need to see that kind of stuff out here.
Mentioned Menchville's head coach, Greg Henderson. His assistant coach is John Hundley and Kurt Harrell. Denbigh is Dennis Katufis. Replaced Phil Forbes, believe it or not. Both these coaches replaced Phil Forbes. It's really funny.
It's one of those strange little ironies.
And it's funny, back then, back in the early 80s, Menchville had a great player in Troy Wright, who played with Rodney Henderson, you might recall. And Wright played at Denbigh as well. Played his sophomore year at Denbigh and transferred to Menchville his junior and senior year.
Well, if you go back through the history of these two schools, they've had a lot of people transfer from teams, not just basketball, but also in football, baseball, and other sports.
This is their 9th meeting since Coach Henderson's been here since the 92 campaign. Off the foot of Kelly, into the hands of Drawn. Layup is good.
Nice play by Carnell Drawn. Might have been a little rough stuff by number 50, Tony Perez, but it was still a nice play by Carnell Drawn.
Jumper by Hurd, rebound by Washington, foul in the play.
These two teams are playing non-stop action right here tonight, and you've got it live on Channel 6.
Absolutely. Instant replay coming up. Paul Cummings, Greg Swan, Bill Barlow, Ray Price, Nancy Crocker all working with us tonight, and the great students as well. At the free throw line, Leon Washington, 5'11" freshman guard, averaging 6 points a game. Coach Katufis standing up, Greg Henderson squatting down. Katufis. Take a look at the replay coming up as you look at Leon Washington. It's off the rim. Menchville's got that lead back 51-46 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third quarter. Live on Channel 6, Peninsula District Basketball. Second shot is up, and it's good. Replay coming up. Look at this shot right here in this move by Kelly. Off the foot, into the hands of Wilson.
There you see Wilson pushing it up court. Carnell drawn right here. Tony Perez with a little extra contact, but the strength of drawn puts it through.
All right, 53-47. Menchville leading by 6. 1:45 left in the third quarter. Live at Menchville High School. Big crowd on hand tonight. And inclement weather as well, Nate.
That's true, Greg. That shows the heart of these fans out here.
Washington has the basketball. Top of the circle to Perez. Perez right into the TV booth with 1:28.
Hello.
And welcome home, whether you're in a home, a hotel, apartment. It's coming right to you in live action.
But the way the ball is coming over here, I think they're trying to recruit us, Greg.
All right. Basketball at its best in your living room right here on Channel 6. And at the ball right now, at the free throw line is Antonio Robinson. Robinson with 1:18 left in the third quarter. It's Menchville 53, Denbigh 47.
Well, Menchville has just scrapped back into this game, and I think they might be ready for a stretch run to take control.
Walking up the court is Macklin with Ardrey and Drawn and Wilson, as well as Catlin in for Menchville. Macklin, a little sliding right there, almost like speed skating on ice.
Right, he couldn't stop his momentum there, and you can't fault him for that.
Macklin, a two-sport athlete for Menchville. Cooper for Denbigh has the basketball right now, the big senior. Those at left side, number 24, Robinson. Robinson out to Hurd, stolen away. Nice steal there by Drawn. Macklin to Wilson. Wilson in the lane. And it's good.
That was an excellent play right there by Keith Wilson. He tried to create some room for him to shoot the tray. When they wouldn't give it to him, he moved inside and shifted the ball to his right hand and got the layup.
Keith Wilson, number 15, the sophomore. Coach Katufis leads this series 5-3 over Greg Henderson. This is their 9th meeting since the 91-92 campaign. Of course, they can meet again in the district tournament at Hampton University coming up.
And what a matchup that would be.
Crosstown rivals playing very well at Menchville. A shooter always gets the nice roll, huh?
That's true.
Wilson connecting again. Menchville up by 9. Cooper having trouble getting it across the timeline. Hurd out to Cooper in the lane. No good. Menchville rebound. Big number 42, Catlett.
Ooh. And the fans don't like that call right there, but we got a top-notch crew here, and I think that was the right call.
Live television at its best, Channel 6. Glad you're with us.
Well, Greg, right here you see the air ball right there, but the rebound.
Glad you're with us.
Well, Greg, right here you see the air ball right there, but the rebound and the putback by number 42. And that was
Carlos Hurd, 56-49 Menchville. Macklin in the lane, dishes it off. Shows you what an unselfish player David Macklin is.
That's true, Greg. Macklin's the kind of player who can dish it off when need be, but if the time comes where he needs to take over a game, he'll take over the game.
Some key college matchups coming up this weekend. North Carolina at Clemson. North Carolina lost a heartbreaker to Georgia Tech last night.
Right.
And, of course, Richmond taking on Old Dominion in Richmond.
That should be a great game.
14 seconds left in the third quarter. Greg Bicaveras along with Nate Milton live from Menchville's home stadium. Ball goes inbounds and into the bleachers with 11 seconds. Richard Pop Pitts, Phil Forbes, and Greg Henderson have been the head coaches here since the mid-70s. Dr. Stephen Hockman, the principal of Denbigh, will be coming up shortly. You saw him at the football game back in the fall. We'll be coming up with our sideline reporter, Dion Favor. Menchville leading it by 7, 56-49. In the lane, all jumbled up right there. And there's Drawn. 10 seconds. Guarded by Cooper. 6 seconds. Drawn using his speed. And it'll be Menchville basketball. Good defense there by the Monarchs.
Well, Greg, that was. And John used his speed and quickness, but he was a little too fast right there, and he lost his footing.
All right, 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Menchville leading it by 7, 56-49. Peninsula District basketball at its best. Perez throws a bomb to number 20 for Denbigh. Caldwell, and that'll be the end of the third quarter with the score. Menchville 56, Denbigh 49, and the Monarchs leading it right now here at the pit at Menchville High School tonight.
Well, Greg, Menchville has kind of surprised us by the way they've gotten back into the game, not by fast breaks, not by up-tempo, but by slowing it down.
All right, let's go to do a live interview with Dion Favor. Dion.
Hi, I'm Dion Favor here with the principal from Denbigh High School. Dr. Hoffman, how are you?
I'm good, Dion. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. So, how's the school year going for you?
We're having just a great year. Kids are doing well, and things are going well. They're scoring high on all their SATs, and everything's going great. We're just real excited about the year and about the athletic season.
How's the game going for you so far?
Well, actually, I like to see it going in the other direction. We're 7 down, and we're getting ready to go in the fourth quarter. But we're starting 2 9th and 10th graders right now, and as the season progresses, I think we're going to get better.
Okay, one more question before you go. What's your predictions for this school year?
For this school year, regarding athletics?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, regarding athletics, I think the big thing is to make it into the tournament. I think by the time tournament time comes here, that on any given night, anyone has a shot. And I think that it's going to be a real interesting tournament. It's going to be one that I think all the fans from all the schools in Peninsula District are really going to enjoy.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hoffman.
Thank you.
Back to you, Greg.
And we're back right here on Channel 6. Nice interview there. Nice interview there with Dion Favor and Dr. Stephen Hockman. He'll be joining the transportation next year in the school system in Newport News. A great principal at Denbigh High School, however. And right now, 7:30 left in the fourth quarter. It's Menchville 58-49, intense game like we expected, Nate.
Well, yes, it is, Greg. And Denbigh tried to work it inside right there, and Paul Michael said, not here. It's not going to work.
Wilson drawn. Right now for the basketball for Menchville. There's Wilson, right side corner. He's dangerous, a good jump shooter. And taken away. Turnovers have hurt Menchville, but Denbigh has not been able to capitalize. We'll see what they can do now. Hurd to Perez. Soft touch, and it's good.
But Tony Perez is going to knock that shot down 9 times out of 10. And there goes Carnell Drawn.
Drawn making a big shot there for Menchville to add the cushion to 9 points. 6:45 left in the fourth quarter. Cooper. Left side, number 24 for the Denbigh Patriots. And that was Robinson. Misses, and there's Drawn. Wilson. The sophomore has the basketball. And fouled on the play.
Well, Greg, right there is what I'm talking about. The Monarchs played slow tempo to get back into this game. Now they've got a bit of a lead. They're going up tempo for the rest of this game to try to put them away.
Denbigh's had some great pass players we mentioned. Joe Bolden, Speedy Green, as well as Sam Steen, who's now playing at William & Mary, and John Waters, Troy Wright. Principal Dr. Stephen Hockman in that last interview. And the athletic director, Tom Butler. Keith Wilson at the free throw line. He got a nice soft touch.
That's right, Greg.
Nice shot there by Wilson. Makes it now a 10-point lead for Menchville, 61-51, with 6.5 minutes even left in the game. Second shot rolls in. Menchville with 11-point lead. They won the first game 74-67. They're 7-3 this year. Denbigh is 5-5. Menchville steal. There's Macklin. Far left corner. Out to Ardrey. In the paint. And a nice roll right there by Michael.
Yes, Paul Michael right there had the position, and he was able to make good on that for 2 points.
A senior guard. Here's Denbigh with the basketball, going right to left on the TV dial. Both these teams trying to get a good position for the Peninsula District Tournament. Denby's always dangerous no matter whether they're playing at home or away.
That's true, Greg, especially when they're playing against the Menchville Monarchs.
Don't forget Ferguson Bethel going to be live on February the 9th. Live from Ferguson High School, the last home game ever for Ferguson. George Walters has been the head coach there since 74-75. B2 Harris and Kenny Harrell doing very well for Ferguson this year. They beat Kickingham, a tough team.
Right.
Mentioned Marcellus Brown, who's going to Richmond, averaging 35 points a game for Kickingham.
That's amazing right there.
Perez, right side corner. Denbigh with the basketball. There's Perez, turnaround jumper. No good. Rebound goes to Cooper. Cooper using his bulk inside. Drives the lane, and it's good.
Well, that was a nice up and under move there by Cooper.
Williams, Audrey, Ricks, as well as Michael in the ball game for Menchville. 64-53. Monarchs leading it by 11 with 5:29 left. And a timeout taken by Denbigh. Nate, I tell you, close game, but Menchville's got a little cushion right now.
Yes, Greg, and once they get that cushion, they were able to get the cushion by using half-court defense. Now they're just going to run, and try to run Denbigh right into the ground.
Take a look right there at some of the people behind the scenes. Also want to thank the public address announcer, Monty Ricks, for his great job. As you see the Menchville cheerleaders.
Right. Monty Ricks is the younger brother of Mike Ricks and the younger brother of Sean Ricks, a great track star here at Menchville High School.
Spring sports starting up in a couple months or so, and Coach Forbes will be busy with baseball. Usually his basketball season carries on to baseball season.
Right.
Menchville's got Lafayette and Phoebus and Bethel their next 3 games, while Denbigh, they take on Bethel, Phoebus, and Gloucester. Other games going on tonight, like we mentioned, Warwick at Gloucester, Phoebus at Lafayette, Kickingham at Tab, and Hampton at Bethel. Greg Picaveras, Nate Milton live at Menchville High School. Exciting Peninsula District basketball right here on Channel 6, live and in color. Glad you're with us on this very snowy, wintry January. With the basketball right now is Denbigh. There's Cooper. Left side to Hurd. Carlos in the lane, shoots it, and it's good.
Well, that was a nice move right there by Hurd. He got the quick step on his man and was able to get the elevation to get the basket.
Wilson out to Williams. Behind the back jumper, off the mark. Rebound Perez. Denbigh's fighting in the last 5 minutes. Denbigh in the road blue uniforms.
Well, that's true, Greg. Denbigh has a never say die attitude, and they're not going to give up now when they're only down by 9 points.
It's so ironic. Both of these coaches replaced Phil Forbes, who's now the head basketball coach and baseball coach here for the Monarchs, the women's basketball coach and baseball coach. And both of them were assistants at Warwick High School before they came here. And, of course, the rivalry going on, as you see Phil Forbes right there. Won the first game 59-37 over Denbigh. He's now 11-0 as Tony Perez is at the free throw line. Big number 50. Rebound goes to Ardrey. He's another good rebounder for Menchville.
Yes, he is.
There's Strawn. Baseline off. Gets his own rebound. And Denbigh gets it with Hurd. And a herd of players right there around him, too. Getting across the timeline with 4.5 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Washington a three-pointer. Air ball. Rebound goes to Drawn. Fast break to Ricks. Ricks going in for the layup. Hello. And the basket counts. Count it, folks. Count it if you're keeping score.
That was just a terrific move there by Mike Ricks. He knew he was going to get the contact, so he shifted the ball to his right hand, and that was just a prime time move right there.
Technical foul as well on Denbigh High School. Menchville 66, as you see the crowd on their feet on this January the 12th, 1996. Menchville has a commanding 11-point lead, but with 3-pointers, you're never really out.
True.
Replay coming up. Mike Ricks at the free throw line for Menchville. The shot is up, and it's good. Replay coming up momentarily. There it is, Mike Ricks, and using his athletic ability at his best. Nate.
All right, right now you see Ricks going up for the layup. He shifts the ball back over to his right hand because he knows he's going to take the contact, and it goes up off glass and into the bucket.
Menchville's always had a lot of guys off the glass. David Hagan, David Pope, Troy Wright, and they're just doing it this year too. Menchville is really aggressive. They won the district a year ago, and they're playing like a really good team tonight.
That's true, Greg.
Ricks at the free throw line, it's good. So Dennis Katufas has his hands on his lap and has got it cut out for him. The next 4:30 left in this ball game, as Mark Ardrey right in front of us at the midcourt line. There's Wilson, great soft shooter. Down low to the Monarchs, number 55. Michael, and rolls off the rim, but Menchville gets that second rebound. As you see, Katufas right there for Denbigh.
Well, Coach Katufas is wondering what he has to do to keep these Monarchs down, and Tony Perez might have the answer.
Out to his favorite player, Jerry Cooper, and Cooper fouled on the play. Cooper and Perez work so well together, just like Macklin and Ricks for Menchville.
Well, that's true, Greg. That inside-outside combination has won a lot of games for him.
Got to put you on the spot. Big AFC, NFC championship going on this weekend. Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. That Pittsburgh, who do you like, Nate?
Well, I like the Steelers defense, but my gut tells me to go with the Colts.
Green Bay at Dallas.
Dallas is favored, but Brett Favre is so hot, you got to go with the Packers.
I agree with one of the teams. I'm going to go with Dallas and the Colts.
All right.
All righty. We're live right here on Channel 6. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton, Paul Cummings, the entire Channel 6 crew with you live at Menchville High School. Bringing you academics and athletics at its best. Macklin. Down low, in trouble, trying to get it across the timeline, and there's Ricks, 1-on-3, reverse layup, and he's fouled on the play. Gutsy move there by Ricks.
Well, that's when Mike Ricks is at his best, exploding to the basket, because he has such good control of his body that even when he takes contact, he's able to keep his head in the game and try to get the shot, but that time it didn't go down. Now you see the fans getting up on their feet. They love their Monarchs.
Denbigh's key players, Cooper and Perez, have been kind of silent in the second half, along with Kelly. Denbigh, that up-tempo offense. Mike Ricks at the free throw line with 3:55 remaining. The lead now elevated to 13, 69-56.
And this right here could be the closing point of the game right now. If the Monarchs can hit their free throws, because they're going to get fouled in this last 3 minutes, then I think they're going to ice the game.
Both teams in the bonus. Both teams in the bonus. 3:50 left in the game. Live on Channel 6. Leon Washington hurriedly across the timeline. In trouble, looks for somebody to pass to. Still finds Hurd. Down to Cooper, and it's good. And Denbigh needs to do more of that.
That was nice working the ball inside to Cooper, and he was able to get the easy two.
We got some wrestling and gymnastics coming up for you on Channel 6 in the months ahead. Timeout right now taken by Dennis Katufas. Nate, an instant replay coming up on Channel 6. Take it away.
Well, all right. Right here you see Hurd working the ball into Cooper. And Cooper's got an easy open lane to the basket. All he's got to do is put it up, and that he does for the easy deuce. Right there you saw the Monarchs trying to close on the defense, but you got to close them quicker than that, or else that's what's going to happen. I think that's what Denbigh needs to do if they want to win this game, work it inside to Hurd, Cooper, and Perez. There you see a shot of the Denbigh cheerleaders.
69-58 is the score right now. Menchville leading it by 11 points with with 3:30 left in the ball game. You see the Menchville lineup right there. Some top teams in girls basketball around the country, folks, too, is Oregon City in the west, Woodward College in the south out of Georgia, Cardinal O'Hara out of Springville, Pennsylvania out of the east, and North out of Huntington, Indiana out of the Midwest. Menchville, one of the top teams in the southeast as well in girls basketball. They won it earlier tonight, 59-37 over Denbigh. Macklin. Joe Paterno's possible running back next year, brings the ball across the timeline. Out to Drawn, back out to Macklin. Menchville going to the four corners right now, the stall offense. Macklin, number 32, left side to Ricks. Patience is a virtue. Great example right there.
Well, that was a nice play right there by the Monarchs, and Ricks capitalized.
Steal by Macklin. That's athletic ability at its best right there.
Yes, it is, Greg.
.251 remaining. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton with you live at Channel 6. Macklin with the shot is up.
Woo.
And it's good.
David got the shooter's roll right there.
David Macklin played with Keith Dixon and so many different quarterbacks back there in football as well. Tracy Parker and Andy Marlowe and
Marcus Lee.
Absolutely. Jay Reed too as well a little bit last year. Jay Reed played for Menchville and Denbigh. So you've got a lot of athletes that played for both of these schools was of transferring as well.
Right. Now the Monarchs want to try playing keep away.
Ricks back door.
Nice acrobatic move there by Mike Ricks, and I think the Monarchs are on their way to wrapping this up.
Menchville leading at 75-60 with 2:25, trying to look to their 8th win of the year. Denbigh is 5-5. Menchville coming up next week against Lafayette, Phoebus. Denbigh, weather permitting, will take on Bethel and Phoebus. These two schools are only about 2 miles apart on Lucas Creek Road off of Denbigh Boulevard. I have an interview with Nate Milton and Mike Ricks coming up after the game live on Channel 6. Stay tuned. At the free throw line, very talented freshman in Leon Washington. You got to be impressed by his athletic ability.
All right, he has a very bright future ahead of him. Besides his athletic ability, he also has great poise out there on the court.
I tell you, Coach Schmidt could use him as a flanker in the football team too.
True.
He's got a lot of quick speed. Leon Washington. So you talk about not only coaches have coached at each schools, but Jay Reed's played at football for Menchville and basketball, football for both schools, and Troy Wright, and so many others as well. 75-64, Menchville up by 11. Macklin with the basketball. 2:10 remaining. You'll be seeing a lot of fouls coming up the next moment or two.
Yep. And going to your earlier point, I think that's part of what makes the Menchville-Denbigh rivalry so great, because a lot of these guys have played for both schools, and they all live in the same area, so they know each other very well.
Menchville has some great teams. We mentioned under Coach Pop Pitts, who's now the athletic director. I grew up watching David Hagan and David Pope, who played the NBA and went to Norfolk State. So many great traditions, Warwick, so forth. A lot of the coaches have been around for years. You look at Henderson's been here since the 91-92 campaign.
Right.
Katufas, the coach at Denbigh, has been here since the 84-85 campaign. Walters has been the head coach of Ferguson since the 74-75 campaign. And Ben Moore has been the head coach of Warwick since the 86-87 campaign. So stability among the basketball coaches at Newport News.
Well, that's right, Greg. All those coaches are good at what they do.
Perez, the shot is off. Fast break, Menchville. Ricks from Macklin.
Mike Ricks,
good.
The jam.
That could be the icing on the cake right there.
Yes, it is. And look at Ricks. He's loving it right now.
And Ricks gets a steal. His adrenaline is flowing. Another one. And he's fouled by Leon Washington.
And this crowd is on their feet right now.
Denbigh's a gutsy team, though, but this is the best I've seen Menchville play all year against a good team.
Well, that's right, Greg. Usually Menchville struggles towards the end of the game, and they have to scrape out a victory. Right now, I think they've got it in cruise control, and Rick's right there, as you said, put the icing on the cake.
Glad you're watching at home on Channel 6. Big crowd tonight with 1:40 left. Menchville and Mike Ricks at the free throw line. Washington just picked up his third foul. 79-64. Menchville 80-64.
Well, Coach Henderson has to love the way his team has played tonight. They fell behind early, but they sucked it up and came out the second half firing on all cylinders, and they look like they're about to pull out a victory right now.
Greg Henderson, been the coach for 5 years. Lives in Hampton right now, teacher at Menchville. Mike Rich's shot is up, and it's good. 81-64 Menchville. Leading it at home by 17. Looking to go sweep the series against Denbigh this year. Denbigh with the basketball. And a foul right there. But as you know, Nate, it doesn't start in December. It starts in practice in November, but all year long with weight conditioning and training as well.
That's right, Greg. These guys come up here. I mean, they come up here early in the year and they have to work out and work hard. But like Mike Ricks and Mark Argy, for example, they started way back in September training for this. And it's paying off.
And sometimes you see the guys just playing basketball as well, not playing football, but there's guys like David Macklin who's like Deion Sanders, can play everything, it seems like. He likes it both. You know? Wonder if he'll go both ways at Penn State next year. Usually you don't see many Division I athletes going both ways. Right. I doubt Paterno will change anytime soon.
Ray Holcraft, also another member of the Menchville football team that plays on this basketball team.
Mark Ardrey, and of course Menchville. Looking forward to the 96 football season, and Tom Jacob. 81-64. Menchville 7-3, Denbigh 5-5. No team has dominated the Peninsula District this year, however.
As you said, Greg, it's anybody's race at this point, and it's going to come down to a photo finish.
Menchville girls and guys, however, did win the 94-95 campaign. Denbigh went 10-12 overall last year. Menchville, we mentioned, went 16-7 overall. Down low for Denbigh, reverse layup is good by Tony Bird. Nice move there around the opposite end.
That was an excellent move there by Bird, but it was a little bit too little, too late. And as you said before, the Monarchs are the defending champions, and no matter what their record is at this point, until somebody upsets them at the end of the season, they are still the defending champs.
And Denbigh has the reserves in right now, Burden, as well as number 30, Turner, and Quinn's Caldwell in for Denbigh, as well as number 34, Ramon James, and number 40, Marcus Garvin in for Denbigh. Denbigh trailing by 16 with 1:06 remaining. Both teams have played an outstanding game right here on Channel 6. What a heated rivalry this has been over the years.
That's right, Greg. Denbigh has played a great game. Tip your hat to them, but this was Menchville's night tonight.
And who knows what's going to happen. We mentioned earlier on the pregame, Hampton lost to Lafayette.
Right.
So you never know. Earlier this season, so you never know what's going to happen. Last night, it was Wark defeating Ferguson 60-41.
On the buzzer beater by Jason Brayboy.
Wark's taking on Gloucester tonight. Phoebus at Lafayette, Kickingham at Tab, Hampton at Bethel. As number 50, big number 50, Bobby Atwell, the freshman at the free throw line. He's big too.
Yes, he is. He comes from a big family. His brother Fred was a great baseball player here. Whole family is just big, and Bobby's the youngest of them, but by no means is he the smallest.
Napoleon Johnson and Coach Bullock, Jim Bullock here, the assistant principal at Menchville under John Kilpatrick. We'll thank Dick Tyson and Gary Silver for all their support. Gary Silver's here in attendance tonight, I believe.
Right.
Along with Tom Butler, the athletic director at Denbigh. And Coach Pitts at Menchville, does he put in some hours or what?
Yes.
He's sometimes there 18 hours a day.
He is one of the hardest working people in the whole entire school.
53 seconds remaining. 83-66. I'm sure you'll be talking to a very excited Mike Ricks after the game tonight.
I'm sure I couldn't even get him to stop talking.
Right now the basketball is Turner for Denbigh. He has the basketball right in front of the booth. And a foul on Menchville's Dwayne Hawkins, the junior guard.
This is a good move by Coach Henderson, letting some of the young guys get in here and get some playing time and help them with experience for later games, because he might need them later in the season.
At the free throw line now for Denbigh is Markel Turner, the 5'8 junior guard. First shot is up on the left hander and it's good. Denbigh with the rebound right there is Turner. 40 seconds left. Behind the back pass. Off to Caldwell. Right side corner to James. Back out to number 20 for Denbigh. Caldwell. And it'll remain Patriots basketball. 31 seconds. Menchville will improve to 8-3. And Denbigh will fall to 5-6.
Well, Greg, that 5-6 record of Denbigh, is in no way indicative of their performance tonight and in other nights. They play hard, but sometimes they just always seem to end up on the short end of the stick.
And now Menchville will be at the free throw line, and Denbigh was leading at the half as well.
Right. It was a bit of a surprise, but I guess Coach Henderson called in his troops, and that was a brave, bold move by Coach Henderson to not run and gun, but to slow the tempo down, and that's what's got Menchville back into the game.
We got the Ferguson-Bethel game live for you on February the 9th on Channel 6, 26 seconds. Big number Bobby Atwell, number 50, who's at the free throw line, misses his first shot. Nate Milton will be joining Mike Ricks at the end of the game. So much tradition here over the years between both schools. Great camaraderie among both schools. Atwell's second shot is up and it's good. 84-67. Menchville a commanding 17-point lead. They won the first game 74-67. Denbigh with the basketball. Tangled up in the paint right there is number 52, Grass. Outlet to number 30. And Menchville with the ball right now. Hawkins, double team in front of Coach Katufis. 3 seconds left. And that'll be the ball game. 84-70 was the final score. Live from Menchville High School as the Monarchs improved to 8-3 and are a half game ahead of Bethel. You see the players congratulating each other. And Denbigh falls to 5-6. Denbigh will be looking forward to taking on Bethel next week, while Menchville takes on Lafayette. All right, the final score once again from Monarch Country. It was Menchville 84, Denbigh 70. We'll come back with an interview live right after this on Channel 6. Stay tuned.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Sir, nothing up there but sky.
It's not just a new aircraft. It's a new technology called stealth, and it will make an airplane all but invisible to radar. So if you want a career in tomorrow's technology, take a close look at the Air Force, because sometimes the biggest opportunities are the hardest to see.
Still nothing, sir.
Aim high. Air Force.
Hello, I'm Kenny G. I chose music as a career, but even if you're not a professional musician, an education that includes music makes for a more complete education. School music education programs improve academic performance, and involvement in music builds self-esteem and discipline. Call this toll-free number and find out what you can do to support music in the schools. Music for a sound education.
Math, a four-letter word, right? Hey, you don't need that.
Why design the world's newest chips?
When you could be flipping the world's oldest burgers. Hey, wait a minute. This is math. Geometry, algebra.
No pocket protectors here.
But you're cruising without math. Yeah, right. Take a good look.
That's math staring back at you.
It's not a problem, man. It's an answer. Call NACME. We'll tell you what you need to do.
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
Feel much better, man.
Once again, I'm here with Mike Ricks. Mike, congratulations on the victory. First of all, how's the leg?
It's all right now. I feel much better now.
Now, you were trailing at halftime. What did Coach Henderson say that made you turn around?
He told us to come out and play because this might be my last time playing Denbigh if we don't get a chance to play him in district tournament. He just told us to come out and play because we looked a little sloppy at the end of the first half, but we came out and played strong.
Now, you promised me you was going to give Channel 6 a dunk, and you delivered. How did it feel?
It felt great. You know, the crowd was behind me and everything. Even my mom was over there standing up. But it felt good.
Well, congratulations, Mike. Thank you for joining us. Back over to Greg at the courtside.
All right, Nate Milton right there interviewing Michael Ricks, the successful senior right there from Menchville, as the Monarchs improve it to 8-3 on a great year so far for Coach Greg Henderson, the defending district champions, looking to make it 2 in a row. And, of course, Menchville right now is 8-3. Their next game is against Lafayette and Phoebus, while Denbigh takes on Bethel and Phoebus and Gloucester coming up. As Denbigh goes to 5-6. Great game, of course, by Tony Perez and Jerry Cooper, of course, and Carlos Hurd for Denbigh. They're the 3 aggressive players, the ones that bang inside, can make the outside shots as well. For Menchville, when you talk about them, Mike Ricks stood up tall in both halves, as well as David Macklin.
That's true, Greg. Ricks started out slow, but
all right. Thanks a lot, Nate Milton. 84-70, Menchville defeating Denbigh by 14. Live from Channel 6. For the entire crew, Nate Milton and everybody, Paul Cummings, I'm Greg Bicaveras. We'll talk to you soon for more exciting action right here on Channel 6.
Def Jam. Def Jam. Okay, roll the drums.